How's it going, everybody? Good to see you again today. We are back in our redstone testing world, as you can see from the last video's design right in the background there. Fun. This world is still pretty empty as we look around and see essentially just one thing in it so far. But what does every redstone world have? What is the one common thing in a redstone testing world? Got it yet? You think you got it? I'm gonna tell you. It is Piston Doors. Yes, that is right, Piston Doors. Piston Doors galore, 3x3s, 4x4s, 2x2s, vault doors, hipster doors, all the doors. And today we're going to be working on the 2x2s. The question is, what 2x2 do we want? I mean, we could be extremely simple and do something like this. Simplistic in design, a 2x2 door that just uses the redstone on top as well as an input for it to activate the door. Essentially, all you do is put redstone on top of a block, 2 pistons on one side, 2 pistons on the other. These are sticky pistons. And then you just flip whatever lever or activation you're using to activate the door. Extremely quick, extremely fast, very easy, and very resource light. All you need is redstone and blocks. Well as the sticky pistons, which require the slime balls, but I still don't think that's enough. I mean, it's nice, but what if you wanted to just really quickly activate it without having a bunch of redstone on top? Or wanted a door that opened while you were running through, say using a pressure plate? Well, what if we did something like this right here behind me? Oh, where did that come from, I wonder? Who knows? Simple in design again. Well, semi-simple. Essentially, all you're doing is taking some sort of redstone signal. I am using powered rails into observers on either side. That powers this block and the redstone to open and close the doors fairly quickly. While I'm standing on the pressure plate, the redstone at the bottom there turns on, powering the powered rails, which powers the observers to quickly fire the pistons. Very quickly, it would seem. So, as you're running through, you'll hit the pressure plate, it'll open, and then close directly behind you. You can use any block as long as it is a movable block. I am preferring to use the very nice looking bamboo block. And the glass down below shows you how this is generally working. Like I said, redstone on either side powers the rail. You step off it, depowers the observer on either side. You can kind of see it through the glass there. Reads the change in state of the powered rail below. Forgot what it was called for a second, even though I just said it. Which, again, powers this block, powers the redstone, powering the door on either side. You can do this with one side, you can do it with two. The options are endless. Kind of. I do love this door. Very simple. Very easy. Now, you don't have to use the rails that I'm using below. You can just use simple redstone. I like the look of the rails. I like the way the rails do things. So I've just decided to use rails. That is my decision. So I've decided to use rails. Yes, that is my choice. My choice is mine. Again, you can use redstone or any other block that changes state if you so desire, depending on how long you want the door open. Different options allow for different lengths of time. Stuff like the repeaters, they stay on a little longer, so the door would stay open a little longer. But entirely dependent on how quickly or slowly you want the door to open. Power rails are fairly instant, so this would be good for a really quick opening and closing. Okay. Well, what if you don't want the blocks to go to the side? What if you want them to go down into the floor? What if you have a building or something? You want things to look nice, you know? You don't want redstone on the side of blocks or on the tops of them. You want to bring the entire door down into the floor to leave room for whatever it is you're building on the other side. Well, my friends, I have an option for you. That option is the 2x2 Hipster Door. Yes, that is right, a 2x2 Hipster Door. The Hipster Door is a type of door that goes down into the floor. The 2x2 version is essentially just 2 blocks, like what we have been showing here. Keep in mind, all of these work with 1 and 2 block placements. You can do a 1x2 or a 2x2. They all work essentially exactly the same. Let me show you how to build the 2x2 Hipster Door, though. So, what we're going to need the pistons, we're going to need the observer, we're going to need some redstone, we're going to need a redstone repeater, which I have just gradually thrown on the floor because I cannot click properly. These are just blocks I am keeping on hand. I like the red wool for redstone stuff because I like the color red. Red is nice. And then any block of your choosing as far as the door goes. In this case, we're using stripped bamboo because honestly, I really like the way the bamboo looks, just in general. So what we're going to do here, we are going to start with 2 blocks right here. We're going to then 2 redstone on the tops, 2 redstone on the back. Redstone on either side. Redstone repeaters on either side. Set those to 2 ticks. So essentially just hit them 1 time. We are then right directly opposite of this redstone here on this side. We're going to place one that is at a 4 ticks. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. Fun, right? We are going to then take our sticky piston. We're going to place 2 here, place 2 there, directly on top of each other. We are going to place a block here and a block here. And now we get to have some fun with the repeaters. So we're going to place 1 here. We're going to place 1 here. If you want to place them on this without hitting them or changing their state, just shift click and it will place the block in the location that you want it to be placed in. We need to also place 1 here and here. Apologies for not doing so earlier. Oops, replace that block. Now, we are going to place an observer this way. So it is reading the block that is going to be placed on top. We are going to do the same thing on this side. Essentially just placing it on the corner there. And a sticky piston there. And 1 on this side. And as far as the redstone goes, that is all of it done. This is the powering system that will power everything. Now we just place whatever blocks we want, essentially right there. You can also do it the opposite way, where you have it open or closed when starting the system. We are going to place a block here and a block here. And that's the system. Right here, that is the system. You have the door, you have the system, and then how it gets powered. How it gets powered is entirely up to you. I would suggest something that keeps it on or off, as using a button, as I will show you here. Does that. Essentially what it is doing is telling the system, hey, turn on, and then immediately turn off. What I like to do, this is just a personal thing, but it is extremely useful. We are going to take this new copper bulb. You can use any of them, really. I like the look and color of this one right here, the oxidized one. We're going to take a comparator, and we are going to place it here. The comparator is going to tell whenever this turns on or off. We're going to place a block on top, and then we can place our button on top of that. Hit the button, turns the block on, closes the door, hit it again, turns the block off, closes the door. Now, I really like this design in the way that a shop would work, because you can use this as an indicator on whether or not the shop is open or closed. Right now, the bulb is off, so say whatever store thing you have inside is closed right now, that would tell, hey, it's closed. Do it again. Oh, hey, we're open, doors are open, lights are on, come inside, shop, and give us your money. Now, this is the cheap option of how to power this. I have another way that I personally enjoy. This is personal preference entirely. But I really like powering things using redstone blocks. I just think this is interesting and a fun way to do it. And if you had anything else that needed a redstone block to power, then, well, you've got it right here. So you close this, doors closed, that's off, that redstone is off, and whatever else you need to power is off. Whoopsies. Okay, so that is a thing. You gotta make sure that any blocks that are next to the piston are not going to be powered, otherwise it will entirely break this thing. I guess if you're wanting something that changes between the two doors, say you have a railing or something in here, or like something essentially where you need one side open and one side closed, or one side closed, one side open, this works fairly well for that. I guess we have now found a secondary use for this kind of door. But it's a fairly simple fix. Essentially just replace the blocks. We'll do it this way since it's on right now, and then off, door closed. If you want to have it where you can turn it or open it or close it on either side, it's actually really simple. All you have to do is make sure that you have a block here that can be powered. We're going to power it with the redstone repeater and just redstone going into it. And then you press the button, and it opens on one side, and you can close it on another. If you want this to work with, say, the similar way that we did that one, where you walk on a pressure plate and it opens up, you are going to need an extension of some kind. The one that I fairly much like to use, I mean, you can do it with this too, but you need one on the other side so you walk through and it closes. But if you want it to automatically close, you're going to need an extension of some kind. You can do the hopper clock, which is really useful. You can do a redstone clock using the comparators. That's my personal favorite. I will actually go ahead and show you that now. So we're going to take this out real quick. Woohoo! We are going to replace this with the redstone because, well, this will just work better with it. Blonk there. Blocks, blocks, blocks. We're going to push a redstone repeater there. We're going to place 2 redstone and then the comparator facing in opposite directions on either side. Now we just build up the floor real quick. And what you want is for your pressure plate or whatever you're using to be on this side of the redstone. What it'll do is power this side, which is the clock itself, and then power that. If you have it on the other side, it will not. And it'll go down and up, and you will not be able to get through the door. This here is essentially exactly the amount of time that one would need to get through said door. I am going to place a floor on the other side, just so that I'm not placing a floor. Apparently, I'm placing a wall on the other side if I put them there. We're going to place a door on the other side. We're going to place a thing where I can stand so that I can press on this. So we're going to press on that. It goes down, go to the other side. And after a certain amount of time, it'll close behind you. I have always been a fan of stuff where it's just like, hey, I don't have to press anything. You just walk up, opens, closes behind you, and you're good. Really simple way to activate this again. Essentially, you just need to power this side. So you would take a redstone output from the other side, feed it around into this here, and it'll feed into this. Activating the door on the one side, this also leaves you a fairly decent amount of room on the other side to do whatever building or other redstone projects you want to do on that side. That is our 2x2 doors. Very easy, very simple to build. None of them really require too much. The more complex you get with the doors, the more you need, of course. These all work with just one side. So if you wanted each of these to work with just one side, you'd only have to build up half of it. And yes, this door is the same way. This is essentially just one half. Works exactly the same. And they all power however you wish to power them, whether you're powering them with a code, whether you're powering them with a lever, trap doors, buttons. I hope everyone had a good time. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, a comment, and if you want to, you can even subscribe eventually, I think. But definitely leave a comment, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time when we figure out what our next building project is going to be. We might be getting rid of a town if I think it's over in this direction. I mean, yeah, we might be getting rid of that town behind us. Who knows? I guess you'll just have to come find out in the next video. If that's what we decide to do. Anyway. Bye.